The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Weekly Forecast.
Hey guys, this is a weekly forecast for August 30th through September 3rd of 2021. Alright, we'll start off the Eurjpy. This is a weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So the last long trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss at this pivot low right here. Then about 2 months ago, there was possible compact short price action that shows strong short strength that formed at this area right here. And although this compact short price action did not have full confirmation, there were partial confirmations on the daily chart at this level, and these two levels right here. So in the long term, I'm short biased right back down to the last daily long trade stop loss level right here. Moreover, on the daily chart, there was a long trade that formed right here. And this week, a short trade formed, which relatively has slightly more short strength than the prior long trade's long strength. And therefore, in the short term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, let's talk entries. Okay, we'll stay on this weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So the last weekly long trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss at this pivot low right here. And then as price came up, a week short trade formed right here. So as price came down, I was looking for long trades on the lower time frames, with this main target at this pivot high right here. And that target was hit. And then another week short trade formed right here. So once again, as price pulled back, I was looking for long trades on the lower time frames, with this main target being right here. Then furthermore, as price came up, there were 2 weekly short trades that formed right here that were actually stronger than the last weekly long trade. However, as price came down, both these short trades hit its target at a monthly gap level that runs right through these levels. Thus again, as price pulled back, I was looking for long entries, with this main target at these pivot highs right here. Then furthermore, as price came up, roughly 2 months ago, there was possible compact short price action that formed that shows strong short strength right in this area right here. So if you recall, as price pulled back, I took a short entry at this 132.30 level right here, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target being right back down here, with the last weekly long trade stop losses. Okay, so at this point, I still have 100% of that position in, with that short trade I took right here at 132.30. Okay, and moreover, like I mentioned on the overview, last week there was a daily long trade that formed in this area, and this week there was a daily short trade that formed here. And in my opinion, there was slightly more short strength than long strength. So I did take an intraday short trade on Friday, so let me go ahead and explain that setup too. Let's go over to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, that daily long trade I mentioned earlier formed right here, and that daily short trade formed right here. Now in my opinion, although the strength differential of this long strength against this short strength is minimal, there's slightly more short strength than long strength. And so yesterday I took a short entry at this 129.30 level right here, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target being at that last daily long trade's pivot low stop loss level right here. Okay, and moreover, since the strength differential between these two trades is minimal, there are some possible abort situations that I am contemplating. So let me go ahead and explain those two. Let's go back to the weekly chart. Okay, so on this weekly chart, that daily short trade formed right here. Now, one of the major price elements that are providing short strength to this short trade were these weekly trend lines. Now, one was from this pivot to this pivot right here, and the other one was from this pivot to this pivot right here. Now, as you can see, that trend line on the bottom end was broken out. So at this point, it's not providing any short strength to that short trade. And moreover, this upper trend line right here, since the close of this week's candle is at this price level right here, next week's weekly candle will likely be opening above this trend line at this level right here. Now, since this upper trend line is surpassed also, it also does not apply any more short strength to that daily short trade. Now, this is assuming we don't get a weekend gap where price gaps down over the weekend and actually opens under this weekly trend line. But assuming that weekend gap does not happen, both these trend lines at this point do not provide any more short strength to that daily short trade. Now, as a general rule, when all the trend lines used to apply short strength to a short trade are broken out, I would abort that short trade even before the stop loss level is hit. However, there's one more horizontal trend line on the daily chart that I used as a price element to add short strength to that short trade. So let's go back to the daily chart. Okay, so again on this daily chart, I took that entry at this 129.30 level right here, and its main stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target being right down here. Now that last price element that has not been broken out yet is a horizontal trend line on this daily chart that's attached to this price level right here. So that runs right through these levels right here. So for the time being, a possible abort scenario is if price closes above this horizontal trend line right here, or surpasses it, or in other words, price opens above this daily horizontal level right here. Now, if either of these situations take place, I would abort this intraday short trade altogether before reaching the stop loss level at this pivot high right here. Okay, and the other situation where I would abort this short trade is if price does happen to fall down. However, before it reaches its main target at this price level right here, if next Friday's NFP announcement is released, and if price is still within a 100 to 150 pip range to its stop loss level, I'll take the entire position out before the NFP release. And like always, this is due to the possibility that the NFP release often distorts short-term price action, and it presents the possibility that price could stop out that stop loss level before reaching its main target. Okay, so lastly, let me explain to you how I'm going to manage that other short trade I took at that 132.50 level right here. So let's go back to the weekly chart. Okay, so on this weekly chart, that other short entry I took was at this 132.30 level right here, with a stop loss at this pivot high right here, and its main target being way down here, where the last weekly long trade stop loss level is. Now for the time being, there doesn't seem to be any strong long price action that could reach these stop loss levels up here, so the health of that initial short trade seems healthy for the moment. However, like always, I'm always looking for any compact long price action to form which shows strong long strength, in which case this does form, I would abort that short trade altogether. Okay, and if you're having trouble understanding what I'm talking about in terms of strong short trades and weekly biases and whatnot, please watch my price action trading course, for that course is designed to provide you the necessary information so you can understand these forecasts and analysis. Alright, let's go on to the NZD-USD pair. Okay, this is an NZD-USD weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this move up right here, starting from this range right here, was solely based on momentum, in the long term I'm short biased, right back down to this pivot low right here. However, on the daily chart there was a long trade that formed right here, and I'm currently waiting for another daily short trade to form, so I can measure the strength differential between the long strength and the short strength. In the short term, I'm neutral biased. Okay, let's talk entries. Okay, we'll stay on this weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So the last weekly short trade that formed was right here, with the stop loss at this pivot high right here. And then following that, there was a long trade that formed right here, with a stop loss at this pivot low right here. Now, since there was more long strength than short strength, the bias between these two pivots was long, up to at least this short trade stop loss level right here. And so as price came up at these levels right here, I was looking for long trades on the lower time frames. However, another short trade formed at this level right here. So at this point, that original main target that was up here was moved to this new short trades pivot high stop loss level, which is right here. And immediately after the short trades formation, that main target was hit at this level. And then following that, since that main target was hit at this level, consequently having no bias on the weekly chart, price just hovered down right back down to that weekly long trade stop loss level right here. So as price fell down to these levels, there were no weekly bias on this pair. Now at this point, since there's still no weekly bias, I went down to a lower time frame, which is the daily chart, to see if there are any biases there. Okay, and last week there was a daily long trade that formed, so let me just show you that on the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, that last long trade that formed was right here. And at this point, since I'm looking to measure a bias on this daily chart, I'm waiting for a short trade to form, so I can measure the short strength of this hypothetical short trade against the long strength of this long trade right here. And if there's more short strength than long strength, then I'll have a daily short bias with its main stop loss at this hypothetical short trade's pivot high stop loss level, and its main target at the last long trade's pivot low stop loss level. Moreover, on the other hand, if this long trade is stronger than this hypothetical short trade, then the bias will be in reverse, so I'll be looking for long trades with its main target at that short trade's pivot high stop loss level, and its main stop loss level being at this long trade's pivot low. Okay, so at this point, I'm just waiting for this daily bias to set up. However, this long trade has extremely strong long strength through monthly price elements. So let me show you these monthly price elements that contribute to this strong long strength. So let's go over to the monthly chart. Okay, so on this monthly chart, that daily long trade formed right here. Now, one of those monthly strong price elements that is providing long strength to that daily long trade is this medium monthly gap right here. Now, this monthly gap is made from many smaller gaps in the historical price data of this pair. So for example, one gap will be this close right here and this open right here. Now there's many of these smaller gaps when combined creates a seamless bigger gap, which is this medium gap right here. Now moreover, on top of this medium gap, there's also a monthly trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here. And furthermore, a horizontal trend line that runs right through these levels that's attached to this pivot right here. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of long strength on that daily long trade through these monthly price elements. And so on the daily chart, when that daily short trade forms, this short trade is going to have an extremely hard time in having more short strength than the last daily long trade. And so for the time being, it's highly unlikely that a daily short trade with more strength than the daily long trade will form. However, there is one situation in which more short strength can be created than this long strength, and that's compact short price action. So if compact short price action forms on the lower time frames, even if this short trade is weaker than this long trade, that would be a reason for me to take a short entry with this main target at that daily long stop loss level pivot low right here. Okay. Alright, so that's it for the weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.